everybody. It's the ARLnow podcast. I'm Lene here with Vernon and Dan. And this week we've got another special guest. We've got Sol with us from Acme Pies.
Hey,
Thank you
welcome.
for having me.
Thank you for coming. That was when we first started talking about guests, like you were in the top 3 or 4 that we were talking about immediately. We were like, all right, well, gotta reach out to Sol. So
I don't know how often you listen to the podcast, but Vernon has spoken of the
Really?
pies
Yeah.
on quite a few occasions.
well, so we have Acme Pie and we had Freddie from Freddie's Beach Bar, and so now that's it. We're good. All right, thank you. we've hit my bucket list of Arlington podcast guests, so that's perfect.
All right. Well, are we ready to just jump right in today?
Let's
do it.
All right. Our first article of the day, County Board considers ban on gas-powered leaf blowers in Arlington.
Yeah, we got some big controversies brewing here. The county board is thinking about implementing a ban on leaf blowers. So apparently this has been like a contentious topic for a little while in Arlington. I mean, certainly leaf blowers are loud. They also,
Thanks for breaking that news for us, Dan.
right. That's not anything new. I was also learning, though, in researching this story, apparently they're like very fuel inefficient, at least some of them are. So like a single hour of using a certain kind of gas powered leaf blower, you can actually run through as much gas as a drive from DC to Miami. So
Really?
yeah, apparently that's according to the county. Yeah. So the county board they're looking into this. It's nothing happens in Arlington overnight. So they're going and they're reaching out to businesses, they're reaching out to people and seeing what they think.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to wrap my head. I don't mean to just jump in but like I'm trying to wrap my head around how many gallons it takes to go from where to Miami.
I'm hung up on this too. That doesn't sound
that math
right.
doesn't math. I mean, because that's like 100 gallons or something to drive from Virginia to,
Are you driving in a hybrid, maybe?
I don't know. Let's say getting 20 miles to the gallon from, it's like 500 miles from Georgia to Florida. I mean, to Miami. Yeah, no, that's lots of gallons.
That's the math here is not checking out.
Listen, I'm not a scientist, all right? I'm just reporting what I was told. But that is a really good question.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, it's over 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah, maybe if you have a great hybrid, it would be the same. But
I know more about driving up and down the eastern seaboard than I do using a leaf blower. So
Yeah.
I'll have to defer to... I live in an apartment because I am a millennial and will never own a house. So I don't know what using a leaf blower is like.
listen,
Yeah.
one thing I will say is I don't know how it happens. Every single time I have a meeting or some, like this each week, I swear the neighbors' landscapers come and have what have to be like turbocharged leaf blowers. I close all of my windows and it sounds like they're leaf blowing directly next to my head. And without fail, it's right as I'm about to get into some meeting of some kind.
The only thing I have to contribute to this is Arlington, as in all things, following Alexandria. Alexandria did it first, so.
It's true. Yeah, Alexandria did it. DC did it. Montgomery County did it. So, I mean, really, we're sort of behind the curve. But we're getting on it. Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is definitely the noise. Something I found interesting, another interesting tidbit about this one, back in 2021 or something, an opinion column that we ran on leaf blowers was our second most read story for the entire year. And we ran a poll toward the end of the year on what people think about leaf blowers. And there were like 3,000 people, or I don't know, multiple thousands of people who weighed in. And opinion apparently was actually pretty split on whether people supported a ban here. Like it was almost 50-50 on support. Most people didn't like the leaf blowers, but it was split on whether they actually supported banning them.
So my question is, I don't know if it was mentioned in the article. Are they offering any sort of like rebate, something like that, for people that have to get rid of their gas leaf?
So for those who are just listening and not looking, there's a cat. There's a very beautiful cat visiting. What's the cat's name?
Loki.
Loki.
He came
Oh,
with
Oh,
the
that's
name.
cute.
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
he came with the name.
That's
We got
cute.
it from yeah.
Well, what does Loki think about the leaf blowers?
He's pretty okay with everything. He's very relaxed. He even likes our dog. We have a dog. They get along.
Mm.
You know,
Aw.
they play games. They will play hide and seek and like run around and chase each other. And I mean, but not me. Like literally
Oh, that's
playing.
so cute.
That's fun.
The dog isn't named Thor, is it?
No.
Okay.
So the story about the cat name is pretty interesting. If you really want me to go into it, probably not.
I kind of do, honestly.
I do.
Okay.
Mostly because leaf blowers bore me to tears. So
My best friend, growing up, his son, he lives in the Bronx, and his son got a job for Metro, working on the railroad, build it when they were doing the out to Dulles,
oh yeah, all the
and
live long day.
and
Yeah.
it paid really well. He was like a 19-year-old kid, and he's making really good money for a 19-year-old kid. At any rate, the program, they put them up in housing, and then pay them good wage. So for the first year, he was with one roommate, and he got a cat. And then they put him in with they moved him to sort of like a group house. And there was somebody in the group house that wasn't, was allergic to cats.
Mm.
And he was like, "Oh, can you take care of my cat?" I'm like
Yeah.
practically his godfather. So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take care of your cat." So we took the cat in. We had it like 3 months. Then he was moving back with his dad back in to the Bronx, and he came back to get the cat. And my wife was like, "I don't want to give up the cat." And everybody was like being polite, like, "We don't want to give up the cat." They really don't want the cat
Yeah.
because they live in an apartment. He lives in an apartment in the Bronx, and he just really didn't want a cat, but he felt like he was obligated. So finally, we were just like, "Look, do you want the cat?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "We really do." So there you go.
That's
great.
how it works.
And I promised I would keep the same name, and he named it Loki. That was like 14 years ago, I think, 13 years ago.
Aw.
So he was
Wow.
It's
a
a
little
good
bit more than a
name.
kitten then.
Yeah.
That's
That's
how it
cute.
works. My one sister ended up with like a Pomeranian pawned off onto her because my other sister was living there or something and couldn't keep the Pomeranian. And now, suddenly you got a Pomeranian and your kids love it and, you can't
Yeah.
get rid of it.
It's
Yeah.
my mom, our first ever dog. A family friend was basically like, "Hey, I know you want a dog. I've got one. Like, I travel too much to take care of it." She's like, we'll take it for the weekend, see how it works out." My mom's expecting, like, this guy's like, super suburban. You think he's got like a golden retriever, yellow lab, something like that. He shows up with this little teeny tiny white rat dog, and that rat dog never left our house. He
They're the
is still
best.
there today,
Yeah.
13 years later.
Yeah, my first rabbit was a foster failure. I got him from the Alexandria Animal Shelter, and yeah, I was supposed to take him home, get him up to weight, and I did that pretty quickly. But when I took him back, day after I took him back, I fell into like a deep depression. And I called the shelter. I was like, "Is it okay if I take him back?" And they were like, "What's funny is the rabbit has not been eating at all over the last day since you dropped him off." So we were together for
Aw,
like
Um,
6 or 7 years after that. So
So
it
Aw.
was great.
so cute.
Speaking
That's-
of rabbit owners, our next story is about one.
Really?
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 Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
That was a great segue.
Yeah, that's
All right, Vernon, I'll let you tell
right.
everyone the next story.
Yeah, former Vice President Mike Pence is joining the Schar School of Policy and Government at my alma mater, George Mason University. Yeah, he's going to be teaching politics, leadership, and national governance starting this spring. So, yeah, it's a kind of a big get for the Schar School. And I don't know if he still has or had a rabbit, but when he was in the White House, had a rabbit named Marlon Bundo, which
Really?
for
Oh,
all the
I
things
have
that we
heard
could say
that.
about Mike Pence, that's one of those things where I was like,
There's something I really like about Mike
So-
Pence now.
it's a pretty good it's a pretty good rabbit name.
Yeah.
I will give him that. It was a very cute rabbit.
So it says he's a professor of practice and he's contributing. So this is,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, different than like a full-time professor. Like, he just will pop in.
That's a good assumption. I don't know. I kind of I saw that he's going to be leading like seminars and stuff like that. So I think it's one of those things where he might not be teaching he's probably not going to have office hours at GMU and you take Mike Pence's class on public policy, but they might. I mean, they had I forget what the guy's name is, but they had a big Nobel Prize winner at George Mason. They wheeled out every time they want to talk about all the awards that they win at George Mason.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, he might be, but I think right now the kind of main focus is he's going to be giving lectures and doing stuff like that. So
So is he gonna be like grading students?
that's That's what I'm thinking. Probably not, is what I'm guessing. Oh no!
Yeah.
Marlon Bundo died in 2022.
Oh.
Okay, well, sorry for the sad ending to the rabbit story there, but he had
Pour one out for
Marlon Bundo. Yeah, so I guess former rabbit owner Mike Pence, now a GMU professor. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know.
Will he be grading students?
That's again, he's a professor of like. I think that's part of the thing about being the professor of practice or whatever it's called, is that you're not doing all of the professor things. You're there
Right.
to like lead some seminars and like have lectures and stuff like that, but not, like I said, you're probably not going to see him at office hours or anything like that. I think it's also interesting because GMU is in the middle of a big fight with the Trump administration right now. So this is kind of an interesting move. Because it's also like, it's not necessarily like bring them more in alignment with the Trump administration, because Trump has repeatedly disparaged Mike Pence like very publicly and vice versa. So I don't know. It's an interesting move for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it might not be the like best geographic place for Mike Pence. I'm like, is Northern, like, who are Mike Pence's supporters in Northern Virginia, or I guess like in general?
Well,
I mean, if you're,
I will say the Schar School, like the graduate programs at George Mason tend to be more conservative than the like undergrad program. Like the law school is the Antonin Scalia like school of law.
Yeah, right.
Which famously started off as law, and then they had to change that within a few months because people were like, "Hold on, that acronym is not working out."
I know.
So yeah, I think those programs tend to not be as like liberal or progressive as the undergraduate program. So I think you won't necessarily be an outlier at the Schar School.
Interesting.
All right. Are we ready to move on to our last story today?
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
A new online chatbot answers questions about Arlington County services and operations.
Yeah, I am really rolling out the niche Arlington County government news today. If all the local policy people hold on to your hats, because there is a new chatbot the Arlington County website, which honestly I think is kind of cool, because like there is a ton of information on Arlington County's web pages, but who the heck knows how to navigate them, because there's a web page for everything, but like actually finding that web page is not always the easiest thing in the world. And sifting through things is also kind of a pain, because boy howdy, does this county like to write a lot. Kudos to their communications teams, but it is also just a lot to sit down to.
Asking about leaf blowers.
Find a specific answer to something.
Have you been to the CAP pay your tax thing lately?
No, I have to do that for my car though.
Yeah.
It's
all utterly changed.
Oh,
like
wow.
It was the same for, I don't know, a decade, maybe 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the last year, it's they've modernized it. It's kind of interesting. It's not quite as intuitive. It's but it's still functional. It's not bad.
If I paid my taxes, that'd be something to... I'm just kidding. The IRS, I do.
Well, with a retail store, I have to go on it every month to pay sales tax. So it was like the first month it was changed. I was like, I figured it out.
You may have been the first person to notice that. To notice the website change. I mean, if you're going there every month for that, so yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only person. Hopefully, not the only person paying their sales tax every month. If I am, I'm definitely doing it wrong.
Yeah, keeping Arlington County afloat. So, I thank you for your service. But yeah, I don't know if you remember this, but in 2019, I went to Acme Pie. We did a story on that, and you told me a story when we were there about California oranges and Florida oranges. And
sour oranges.
Do you remember that? Yeah. So
I do.
I have for years been going around retelling that story to people because I found that endlessly fascinating.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So for everyone, I don't want to paraphrase it because I feel like I'll screw it up in front of the person that told me the story. But yeah, it was Actually, do you want to talk a little about that? Because I loved it.
Well, is it the story about the fact that all orange trees are grafted?
Yes. Yeah.
And then when the freeze belt in Florida, in Central Florida, when the freeze belt moved, all those hundreds and hundreds of acres of orange trees froze back to these stumps. And there just wasn't enough. Literally, the orange market from Florida is down in the last 30 years, down to 5% or 10% of what it was in the 60s or something, I guess. I don't know about the exact timelines, but what changed is that the freeze belt moved and it became much more difficult to raise oranges in that part of the country. I think California's still doing it, but I don't really know. Also, I think people don't drink as much orange juice as it was like one of those things that when I was a kid, it was like the pyramid of food. It was like, oh, you must have your orange juice and you must have a glass of milk and you must have
you have to
the
have Tang.
pyramid
Yeah,
thing.
you have to have Tang, just like the chimpanzees, if you want to go into space.
Exactly. And now the orange juice is like, well, not so important.
Yeah.
So I think it really pleased that industry.
I thought what was great about that was like that was my first time going into Acme Pie, and you were like, oh, here's like some of the different pies, and I was like, oh, what's this one? And it was like, oh, it's an orange pie, and I was like,
it's a sour orange pie. So that the fruit that comes from the stumps of those trees, is like a Sevilla orange or a Seville orange from Spain that was literally imported by the Spaniards when they owned Florida, and they just cultivated those same oranges for the last 300, 200 years or whatever. And then would graft, California style oranges onto those stumps. And because they were hardier.
So maybe I just lucked out, but the vibe that I got from that is every single pie in this shop has a story like that.
Kinda.
You were the one that taught me when I went in there about the Dust Bowl ballads and all of the vibe of like the early. Yeah, because I had never like listened to that, and we went in there and talked about that because the whole shop was set up with this very vibe of like the early 1920s stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I love that. I love that era of American history. It felt very, I don't know, not to sound really stupid, but like karmically clean. Like it was like there's work to be done. Like the WPA. I felt like that was a good time in American. I mean, there were obviously problems, but minorities, and I mean, there was a lot of issues, of course. But I don't know. I think it was an interesting time when the government was funding art, keeping people working.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a fascinating combination of frank cynicism and genuine optimism for the future. Like, I feel like you get that both in the music of the times and like the political stuff is, the recognition of things that are bad that have been bad, but also the acknowledgement that they can be fixed and putting effort into that. And so it was kind of a very weirdly hopeful experience to walk away from a pie shop with. So,
well, thanks. I mean, that's, what I try. Yeah. Call it shtick. It's not meant to be shtick. It's, honest. But it was Woody Guthrie. Was a writer of a lot of songs at that time and pretty influential in my life. I'm a fan. Yeah.
So how's stuff been with the pie shop recently?
Well, the construction has been pretty bad. I moved from the spot up on the corner of Walter Reed across from the Rite Aid and Columbia Pike and Walter Reed to further down where Rappahannock was. And the construction followed me. It went from right in front of me in one end of Columbia Pike, and then I moved, and then well, here it is again. So that's been difficult.
I may be misremembering my ARL Now history because I was not the one writing the story, but wasn't the construction at the place that you moved away from, didn't that get delayed? Okay.
Well, yes, but I think what you're talking about is the that building was going to get redeveloped. And it was going to get sold. I'm not going to name which companies are going to buy it. I don't even know if I would say it right.
Probably one of our sponsors.
Maybe. So somebody was going to buy that building, and they sunk a lot of money into doing renderings of ideas and buildings and ran them through engineering. And the number I was told was they spent like close to $1 million getting ready to do it. And then because of tariffs in the very beginning of the year, when they actually went to the signing thing, like January, I guess, or February, I'm not sure the exact date, but I was told that developers were petrified because if you're getting steel from, again, I don't know, China, Spain, I don't know where steel comes from, but next thing you know, you think it's going to cost $2 million for steel for a building, and then it's $7 million for a steel for a building. You can't build a building that you're planning on building and selling or making money with when you can't count on a price. Especially with like random tariff changes, like, oh, this week it's 15%. Okay, now I got that. I can deal with that. That's 15%. Now I know what the thing is going to cost me. Oh wait, now it's 50. Or oh, now it's 3%. Unless you're India, and or now my dogs come in.
I've seen a lot of that around the construction in the region where stuff like housing projects have been slowed down or even canceled entirely because they're like, we have to kind of wait and see what's going to happen with some of the tariff, with some of the other stuff. That is a very cute dog.
Oh my my
You were talking about
gosh.
little rat dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, I love my dog, but that one's much cuter than ours.
Wow. That sounds like a betrayal, Lena.
Lena, do you want to make sure your door was closed for that one, or?
No, it's my mom's dog. My brother still lives at home and
Oh, there's another one.
also much cuter.
Oh,
Oh,
you changed the color of the dog. That was very fast.
She changed colors. No,
Yeah.
that was a different dog.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so that building didn't get built because of that. The contractor that was going to buy it and develop it backed out, and that was after the old owner that has companies managed that building. His family owns it. He's the management company for it. Again, not going to say names but he's actually a really nice man. I think he kicked out not kicked out, but he wouldn't renew their leases for everybody in the building. He let the leases run out, and then he didn't kick anybody out. He just was waiting till the thing got sold.
Yeah.
And then it didn't get sold. And by then, half the tenants had gone. And I mean, he's really in a pickle financially, where he still has taxes due on it, and he's got a vacant building on the corner of Columbia Pike and Walter Reed.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, you're talking about the tariffs and the unpredictable effects on prices. Does that affect you as a business owner?
Absolutely. It's the fluctuating. Most of the stuff I buy is because it's like American commodities, wheat, fruit. You're not getting peaches from Indonesia. You're getting peaches from Georgia or North Carolina or California. Now, I mean, sometimes I'll get blackberries from Chile or somewhere like that, but most of it is American commodities. Not all. My tin pans, that the aluminum pans, they're coming from Canada. So I've been a little bit worried they've been fluctuating in price a lot, and I've been told by the distributor to be prepared for them to go up a lot around Thanksgiving. So
what if there's going to be a market in smuggling those across the border now? Like going up to Canada, buying that, just like storing it in your trunk or something like that. These things, I just keep these back there. No, they're.
But electric bills seem to be fluctuating a lot. I mean, everybody at home has probably noticed that too. That 1 month it'll be like $60. For me, it'll be like $70, and then the next month $900. I'm like, and I'm pretty sure that's because they're just reading it bi-monthly, and then the next month, like, oh, we were way off. So you're getting 2 months worth of bill, and but things like that.
How's the new location?
I love it. The feel in there is very different. I went with a similar vibe, but a whole different era. Like it's very mid-century.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it feels very like kind of Jetsons, sort of Jetsons color.
I feel like that's perfect for pies.
That's sort of what I was thinking. I just try to have fun. I just want it to be like people come in and go, oh, this is cute. I like this place. And it looks different than every other store. I want it to do something neat.
More of an experience than.
Yeah.
Do you still do the vegan pies? Because that was one of the cool things.
All sorts of them. I have, for Thanksgiving, which is coming up pretty soon, there is 3 different vegan pies on the menu that are available. Mixed berry, apple, and I forget what the third one is. I think it's...
Well, I will be visiting soon. So
I remember that I was... Yeah, I don't think it's cherry. I know I did cherry last year. Normally it comes with a crumb top, but I did it vegan 1 year for Thanksgiving with like a flat top. The crumb has butter in it and cream, like streusel crumb top. And trying to fake it, it doesn't come out right. It just so I'm not into fake foods like soy dogs or something. Just eat tofu. Soy dogs are silly.
It's a big divide in the vegan community about that, because I am a fake food person, not on any moral grounds. I just still enjoy the taste of that stuff. But yeah, so I completely get that. That's also how much harder is it baking for the vegan stuff too? Because I don't do a lot of baking.
It's not. I didn't do very much different. The only thing is vegetable shortening instead of butter.
Okay.
But historically, that's not a stretch. I mean, people did that during the Depression. It was a butter substitute.
Yep.
The whole term high ratio vegetable shortening tells you actually a lot of information. The high ratio means that you can put more fat into a recipe before it fails. That's the high ratio. And then the shortening means it shortens the gluten strands. So that's what makes like biscuits.
Oh, really?
Shortening bread, like the old songs, like my baby likes shortening bread or
Uh-huh.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shortening bread is made well with shortening. It's crumbly and moist, like good biscuits.
Mhm.
Oh, we've been doing breakfast
Oh,
Monday
really?
through Friday. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Just very simple coffee or tea included with a breakfast biscuit with egg and bacon and or egg. I think it's $1 more if you get the bacon, but they're baked every morning,
I love that.
but not vegan, sadly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I've started getting into brewing chamomile tea because I can drink it and my rabbit can drink it. So we'll sit there in the morning both sipping on chamomile tea. So, yeah.
That's
Do
cute.
rabbits like warm liquids?
That one I have to cool down for him. But
I didn't know.
no, yeah, not. I don't make it for him hot. I just he likes the flavor of it, and apparently it's very calming for them too. So it's kind of cool.
So I guess caffeine is not a thing you do with rabbits.
No, yeah, not a big.
They
fan.
don't drink coffee or tea or green tea.
Yeah, he doesn't drink. I only drink my coffee cold. He doesn't drink coffee at all. So that's our difference of opinion there.
So Saul, I wanted to ask, because on these interviews, I always like to learn things that help me specifically. Do you use shortening and not like vegan butter when you're making a vegan pie crust? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
100% vegetable shortening. Now it's not like Crisco. It's other blocks of commercial
Yeah.
50-pound blocks, and it's stiffer. It has a consistency like butter when cold.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's hard. Whereas
Oh.
like Crisco's like
Oh, interesting.
Vaseline or something.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I was so invested in hearing about the like shortening and how you make the vegan pies that I completely forgot we're doing a podcast right now. I was totally on board. Yeah.
If you ever want to come in the morning and see just you personally, feel free.
Oh wow.
Send me a text and
Field trip.
we have
Yeah.
big, we make about 100 balls of dough a day. So
Wow.
so the
Yeah.
rest is big, but
Yeah. That would be. Oh man, I might take you up on that because like I like to home make my crust when I make a pie, but I feel like I'm
Yeah.
not very good at it. So I'd
My
like to.
mom told me the other day that because she bakes a lot, she tried a crust recipe that used vodka,
Whoa.
Yeah.
and she said it just immediately was so much better. She was like,
Your mom
"This
might
was
have a
so
problem.
good."
So one of the weird things about gluten is that there's 3 ways to control gluten development. One is temperature. That's why you use ice water or ice and water
Oh, really?
when you're making pie crust. The other thing is the acidity. Neutral is what gluten likes to develop at, or warm and neutral pH. So if you can take the pH away from like 7, whether it's an acid like lemon juice or a base like vinegar. I use a little bit of white vinegar in mine, and it does the same thing as the alcohol, as the vodka. Yeah. The other thing about the vodka is it gives you some evaporation
Mm-hmm.
and evaporative cooling, so it actually like kind of keeps it cooler.
Yeah.
But like when we're done with the dough, I mean it's like a big mass of chunks of ice and globs of shortening, and I mean it doesn't look like a dough. And then we weigh it into little balls and roll it into little balls and wrap it, and then put that in the refrigerator. And then the next day, when it's good and cold, then we roll it out. And then it gets shaped into the pan. And then the next day it gets baked. So it's like a 3-day process every time every day when we make, pie dough.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You can't really rush it. If you rush it,
Mm-hmm.
it'll try to shrink almost like
Yeah.
a cracker in the pan, like,
Yeah, right.
it'll fall down the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a fascinating tie in there where it's like this is an artisanal restaurant, right? This is a shop where you have to take your time. You have to plan this out 3 days in advance. Like this is not fast casual. This is not.
No. I mean, that being said, we know what we're doing the next 3 days. So,
Yeah.
like we just do pies and now biscuits too,
Mhm.
which are more similar to pie dough than you would think.
Oh yeah.
Both they get rising from the encapsulation of the fat and water in the dough,
Mhm.
and then when it gets hot in the oven, it turns to steam, and that gives you lift.
You said they're more similar than we would expect, and I promise you, I had 0 expectations for how similar biscuits and pie dough. I was like, I don't know how close I thought they were going to be. So
It makes sense though.
yeah, I was like, yeah, that tracks. So
Yeah.
And croissants and Danish dough.
nice.
All of those have something more in common than I think people that grew up making biscuits and people growing up making croissants would like to they would be aware of anyway.
Well,
Mhm.
you're trying to limit the gluten in all of them, right?
Or not as much with like laminated doughs like croissant dough.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of stretchiness. I mean, think
Yeah.
like the difference between pizza dough and and then like cookie dough. Like cookie dough doesn't stretch.
Right.
If it stretches, you've done something very wrong.
Yeah, come on, Dan. You're embarrassing us in front of Sol. Come on. Don't do this to us, man. Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. I was thinking about the Acme Pie shop the other day. I went to my Midas that I go to is right there on Columbia Pike.
Oh, yeah.
Love those guys. And they were talking all about all the changes they've seen on Columbia Pike over the years. I'm sure you've probably seen some
oh my God.
as well.
Yeah.
How has Columbia Pike changed for you?
I think it was like 15 years ago or 16 years ago. I was talking to Alfonso Lopez. And he was like, and this was just us talking about change coming to South Arlington. I was like, there's not going to be any change coming to South Arlington until there's some money or reason for it to change.
Yeah.
Like that's
like a streetcar.
Like the streetcar, Ixnay on the streetcar. So, well, now apparently there's enough money in South Arlington. Well, they're willing to invest some money changing the infrastructure. I mean, this is a huge project. This street change, this street repaving. I mean, it's really nice if we can, survive it. I know there's a bunch of really nice restaurant owners around me that I'm friends with, like the guys that own the Celtic House. They're struggling. They're acting like they're more angry about everything, but they're really scared. William Jeffries is having a hard time. They have a big footprint and a rent you probably wouldn't believe at both of those places.
Do you think that's prices going up along Columbia Pike as well, or just the cost of goods getting more expensive?
I can't imagine the rent going up.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's kind of tough all over. Yeah.
It's kind of tough all over. Yeah.
Well, Columbia Pike is such a fascinating area because, like, I feel like there's so many communities along the Pike. I mean, you've got affordable housing all along there, and market rate affordable housing as well. I would think. But then you drive like 2 minutes in any direction, and you're back into the $1 million homes. So I guess I'm curious, like, what does your clientele look like at Acme Pie? Like, what kind of mix of people do you get?
All sorts. I mean, it is across the board. I wouldn't even say. I'll tell you two funny things that I was not expecting. I get a lot of first dates. I get a lot of I think
Really?
they've never met, like Tinder dates or something,
Yeah.
where they've never actually seen each other before.
Oh, that's
and
cute.
they're like, well, it's not as big a commitment as a dinner, and it's casual. Like they can, and depending on how the pie goes, they go out to dinner or I don't know what they do, but something else.
You're dating by the slice. Yeah.
Right. I was really surprised the first couple times I saw that. Now I'm like, oh, it's another date. And that happens a lot where they've never met. And you can tell when you walk by the conversation. It's all like, first meeting somebody conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I was surprised at was a lot of single dads on the weekends. Like maybe they just got divorced or maybe somebody's deployed. I don't know. But single dads with 2 kids and they're like, it's Sunday morning. These kids are making me crazy. What are we going to do? Let's go play pinball. And so, he must have opened up guys, Arlington Now, and was like, what are we going to do? Oh, let's go play I'm going to take the kids and get a piece of pie, get a cup of coffee, and, and play pinball for a couple hours. And I was surprised at how much of that there was.
As somebody who's going to be a dad soon, I'm going to write that one down as a potential place to take kids. So, yeah. Good to know. Take the kids to Acme Pie, play pinball.
Yeah, it was. I was just a little surprised actually at how often that is, and you can see it in the dad's eyes that they're like a deer in the headlights. They're like, I got 2 kids.
Yeah.
I don't know what, mom's out of town or visiting her mom or I don't know what, and I got to get them out of the house because they're making me crazy. There's more than that than I would have thought.
Yeah, good to have a spot for that though.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's fine. What else? Yeah, and then a lot of families. I get a lot of older people too. Like I had some people from, I'm not going to say the chain of clothing stores that the guy's like he's a corporate guy at like a fancier than Sears, like Neiman Marcus or something. It's Bloomingdale's. He's a corporate guy for Bloomingdale's. And
okay.
And he was in town for some meeting or something. And he and his wife were, and they were like, what are we going to do? Let's go try pie. And so they just came in and they got like 6 pieces of pie for the 2 of them and a cup of coffee. I think it was a Saturday morning.
That's the Twin Peaks experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Slice of pie and a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So it's more than just picnics, or holidays. we do a lot of business with just random things like that.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. I've really
You're welcome.
appreciated having you on.
Yeah.
I hope I was okay.
Thanks for indulging my
Great.
pie question.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing a podcast. My God, I forgot completely. Okay.
I
yeah.
want to see your rabbit, by the way. Rabbits are cute.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
cool.
Well, he's not here because I'm in the little like soundproofed cubicle that make Dan and I both look like we're reporting this from an insane
Yeah.
asylum. So yeah. So I didn't see our hands because they're in the straitjacket here. So
Can't you like change the background and stuff on these things?
that sounds like a lot of work that I don't really feel like doing. I do it on my Zoom calls from here.
Yeah.
So that yeah. Well, thanks
right.
everybody.
All right.
It's good
Thank
seeing
you.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.